Welcome to the 2023 Prodigy Presents the Waco Annual Charity Open. Cute little acronym there. This is our MPO Round 1 Back 9 feature card. I'm Andrew Fish, joined by Nathan Queen.
Yeah, and one of my favorite events of the year out here. The Beast on the east side of the Brazos. Got to see a different mix of scoring here on this front nine. Nikko Locastro able to shoot 6 down clean, and the rest of the card mixing in some bogeys in there, showing you what these trees can do.
Yeah, it's going to be more of the same on the back, although holes 10, 11, and 12 are going to be very much in the woods, and then we'll pop back out into the open for a little bit more wind, a little more out of bounds in play.
Yeah, and straight into hole 10, 591-foot par 4. One of my favorite on the course. Just a nice tunnel shot to start. If you can get to somewhere around these trees here, just past them, then you're going to be an ideal spot for your upshot. But if you push a little bit too long, then you can scoot away from the basket as it does dip down. So not a super long par 4, but definitely a pretty shot to throw, and you still have to control your upshot.
Yeah, pretty straight. Common to see this little force over play like Nikko threw, or a hyzer flip. It's really, really critical not to run into the woods, especially the left side.
Yeah, and both of the players so far really trying to miss that left side, have pulled it over too much to the right.
Väinö, hyzer release, but very high. Does get full flight, and this is going places, Nathan.
Wow. How did that not catch anything up there? Got a super air bounce out of his hand, but gets just an amazing flight down the fairway, going to be in prime position.
Eagle, this never gets quite past flat, and I think it's going to push left side, but a good branch. Very fortunate. From this spot, a couple options.
Yeah, and I don't believe that's one that he was going for. Gets a little nose up on it and just never really gets over. Gonna have a hard time getting a par from right there.
Nikko looking for the right side turnover with the forehand. And didn't miss by a whole lot, but does get caught near circle 2. And the struggle kind of continuing for Eagle. We know this is very uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah, he is 4 over through the last 3 holes before starting this back 9. Definitely uncharacteristic. As Zachary trying to pull something off from over there on the right side. Does get some good distance on it. But still going to be in a pretty tricky spot to try to get that par.
And Väinö's crush of a drive rewarded with a very open shot. Makes a little bit of a miss and runs down the hill, but still inside the circle for a birdie look. Zach had told me he's dealing with a little bit of a shoulder injury, so his forehand is not his go-to at the moment. So perhaps some of the discomfort resulted in that errant shot.
And here is his par chance. And we've seen him blow by on some previous holes where he gets pretty far past it, but no issues on the comebacker on this one from about 40 feet. Let's take a look at that again.
Wow, that's really big. The uphill and hyzer spin putt for bogey, no less.
Yeah, around some trees right after he just putted from closer. So yeah, showing he's got some skills out here. If he can keep his mind calm. Making some solid putts so far. And Eagle is finally at least able to stop the bleeding in the basket for a par.
And Väinö back to under par. Hole 11, pretty straight, 279-foot par 3. There are some thick woods to the left and right, and then a series of trees that you need to pick. Basket perched on this hillside, and anything that hits it with some spin is liable to run off to the left.
Yeah, this one can get pretty mean right there around the basket. Good shots can turn into pars very quickly, getting into those woods down there.
And really well done to use the space on the right side. There's more than appears off the tee if you turn it over late, and Väinö up on the shelf, putting level with the basket.
Oh, and looking online for the chains right there. If it was just a little bit more to the right, I believe it was going to have a pretty good chance. But ends up catching that tree that's kind of dividing the fairway. An eagle, again with a late release, which we've seen quite a few times this round, and gets a brutal kick over all the way across the fairway out of bounds. He probably is not going to be in a good spot.
No, possible re-tee? No, looks like he will advance. And inside the circle, going to be putting for his bogey. Nikko with that floaty little spin. Going to be parked for his 3.
Scary putt here for Väinö, and it's just a bit low, but does get the good bounce off to the right side. Should be there for a par. As you see, Eagle is not in a good position there to try to save his bogey. He's going to have another double bogey opportunity.
Really well played hole there by Zach. Kind of overcoming the previous couple of bogeys he's had. But very controlled mid-range shot to the bottom of the hill, and the confident putt high in the chains.
Nikko with a pretty quiet par stretch right here, still sitting at 6 down for the round. Moves us into hole 12. Another difficult par 4, 609 feet, and it's kind of a funny angle corner right here. If you can land somewhere directly in the middle right here, then you're in a great spot to almost be able to attack this green. It just seems once you get down to where you want to be at, those last trees, a little uphill to the right, just make it a very funny angle to get here. I think backhand kind of plays best right here to be able to land in the middle of the fairway.
But that left side, kind of a common collector spot to just spin out and run left.
It is. And then I was gonna say, with this forehand, you can get a little too overstable and skip off to that right side.
What about rolling to the middle?
Well, rolling to the middle works pretty well. I don't know that he's far enough to really be in a great attack position for the birdie, but he is in a great spot.
This is well thrown by Nikko, but tracking towards the inside. Does get a little roll out. And there's 2 mandatories, neither of which are very in play. They're just kind of preventing a super wide parking lot. If you get to the drop zone for the second, that's where I think you're starting to consider a real viable shot for your birdie.
Yeah, I believe this sign you see on the left right now, I believe that's
Correct.
a new Mando. I don't think that has been there in previous years. So that can take away from those fast forehands as well, just trying to get up around that corner. Got to make sure you don't miss that Mando.
That's just a drop zone, not a mandatory, fortunately.
Okay, cool.
And this is the difficulty with playing your approach shot. You're, again, going to go up onto a shelf. You have to throw a pretty defined line.
You gotta be shitting.
And Nikko in 4 territory, but 4 is pretty solid on hole 12.
It is. This is another hole that was labeled as a par 5 in previous years. Just because of this kind of weird angle shot that they're trying to have to go is really off camera. And once you start to have the floor come up, the ceiling comes down also.
Gotta imagine that was the kind of shot that Zach would like that shoulder to feel good for a forehand. And Väinö probably unable to see the basket. Zach, same deal. Still having to throw a pretty full shot for their approach.
Yeah, both of them a little bit too hot on the approach shots, but that one does stop not too far from the basket. And Nikko's got an opportunity to give this one a little run here.
Yeah, I like the nose up angle that he starts with. Just kills the speed as soon as it gets back to hyzer.
Yeah, great way to have a controlled run. Give it a chance to go in, but still not go 40 feet past.
Yeah, good scramble and good save.
Yeah, and this was the second most difficult hole on the course. The least birdies, though. I remember earlier on, I told you guys hole 9 had 21 birdies. This one only had 10 players card the birdie. So most difficult hole to birdie today.
Hello all out there. Thank you for following me. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you. And greetings to my mother. That's all.
Air Spectrum is Prodigy's new line of premium lightweight discs in the mid-range, fairway, and distance driver models. You can now get beautiful bursts of color no matter your preferred weight. Bag one today at prodigydisc.com.
Hole 13, a par 4 with a mandatory on the right, and we're certainly playing downhill. Slight headwind at this time. There's a lot of different options off the tee, but generally players are going to throw something that'll move a little bit left at the end and then be left with a pretty routine approach into a flat green.
Yeah, you go from the second hardest hole on the course on the last hole to the second easiest hole on the course today. And if the wind's not too bad, it's nice to be able to just rip one straight down just to the left of that Mando. That's just going to be your best way to get a ton of distance on this shot and make that upshot fairly simple.
Nothing wrong with these first two. You saw the easy gas out of Zach to get a full flight. Nikko coming up a little bit shorter, but there just aren't that many bad places to be if you're in the fairway on 13.
Yeah, it looked like he intentionally took quite a bit off of that, not really trying to get far, just making sure he hit that gap. And Eagle, farther left than you see most people go, but still, since he stayed away from that sidewalk, not really going to be in much trouble over there.
It's like full driver from Väinö, but he also will track to the left. Probably around 200 once you hit that cluster.
And you do have this OB sidewalk that creeps up closer to the basket up here. Still seems to be pretty far out there, though. Have to be pretty errant or pretty windy to find that OB around this green.
And especially at 555 feet, if you make decent headway off the tee, the odds are players are going to throw something slow into the green. Well done by Eagle. That should get him back on track. He's kind of been scuffling for the middle part of this round.
Look at this drive here from Zachary. He has 120 feet left. Just absolutely laced it down the fairway straight.
Oh, Nikko.
Yeah, we haven't seen him make a mistake like that yet. These last pars have just been kind of getting down the fairway to a par. That's the first missed putt that I remember seeing from him this round. But still going to maintain clean. Definitely losing strokes to the card, though, as the rest of them card the birdie on hole 13. Moving into hole 14. Another kind of on the easier side of the par threes here. 303 feet. They've added a few trees on us this year just to make it a bit more difficult, but forehand is going to play the best with the ground play, as it can skip up to the right, and as that's the way that the hill is going to stop you, as the hill does slope down to the left. This backhand can get a little carrying away from you there. But that freshly placed tree going to keep Zachary from floating too far.
Eagle also going to that backhand. We know that he spent most of last year kind of on the disabled list, unable to throw forehands and thus not really playing in tournaments.
Yeah, and he showed us another one of the freshly placed trees out there. Väinö got the straight shot down, but just a little bit too low.
Not surprising to see Nikko just slam over on a forehand, but weird reaction once it gets to the ground.
Again, one of the easier holes. We see this feature card struggling to get the birdies that you would expect them to get. Väinö, though, gonna go back to back on 13-14 with a good circle two putt there. That was probably 45-50 feet.
Yeah, very nice commitment to it. And Nikko, the little stepper, kind of running through the putt.
There we go. There's the couple birdies I was looking for.
Doesn't quite matter how you get them as long as you get them.
That's right. And 55% of the field did get the birdie on this hole today.
Hole 15 is going to see way less than 55%. Bounded by OB on both sides, 558, par 3. You kind of have two choices here. There's a little bit of a crosswind, which does enable you to throw a drive to try to two it. Or you're going to see safe forehands or mid-ranges, and then another layup shot.
Yeah, this is another one that they've changed the par on within the last couple of years. I disagree with this one compared to the other two anyway. Stats, well, I'll hold off on that just yet. We got to watch some golf. But, yeah, par 3 this year, last couple of years instead of a par 4. OB everywhere.
This is a really good hole to have a personal par on. You know, there is not a universe in which I'm going to two this regularly, so I'm going to mentally call it a par 4 and congratulate myself if I take a 3 and birdie.
Sounds like a pretty good plan to me. We've got Eagle, the only opportunity left to maybe get a birdie on the card, and that did not look like he is going for the birdie either. I will now safely say no birdies on this hole today. Par 4 it is.
That's just one data point. Wait till we get a screaming tailwind and everybody attacks it. So we're going to see probably a lot of overstable approaches in. Good width from Nikko.
I think I'm further.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Huh?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Right. Ah, you are doing like that.
Disqualified.
Okay, then I'm going for it. Things like disqualified.
Guess they're not sure who's out.
Once Väinö marks it, Eagle's going to be out.
Oh, no mark.
Swings a little wide, a little deep. Maybe a little too amped up after the scissors play.
Yeah, I got a little excited about the Rochambeau win there. Eagle puts his a little bit long as well, but not quite as far. Väinö for the birdie or par.
Yeah, watch out. Väinö might have found his putting stroke.
Couple threes, and we'll add a couple more.
I'm Zachary Nash.
Thank you.
Just want to do a shout out to my family, to Innova Discs, and Legit for my sponsorship. Also, if you want to follow me, you can check me out on Instagram at Zach_Nash1 and follow me through the rest of my tour season. Thank you.
Another birdie would seal the win here. Yeah! For $35,000. Congratulations, Ricky Wysocki, your Pro Tour champion 2022.
Into hole 16, 609-foot par 4. Easiest hole on the course today. They've also added a few trees in here, which look like they'll cause some more trouble later on down the road, but right now still pretty small. You see some big rollers if the wind's down, trying to reach this green. Otherwise, just some big flex shots. You've got lots of room. There is some OB left parking lot and OB right sidewalk late, but lots of room off the tee.
And
oh no,
yikes. Right as you say that, Väinö kind of pulls his shot to the right and is going to land out of bounds well short.
Man, yeah, that's not something I don't think I've seen anybody hit one of those light poles before.
Good opportunity to air it out. Nikko loves his flex shots. And that'll leave probably a routine forehand into the green. I've been impressed so far with the ease of Zach's distance. Excited to see what he's going to do with full green light. Plays a flat to hyzer. And this needs to swing back.
Oh yeah. Gets that sidewalk skip, and with one angle gets out there. That's probably a good 450 at least.
Oh yeah. I don't know what's in the water in Waco, Texas, but the boy can rip. And I'll confirm that it is Waco, Texas. I was told if you pronounce it Hiko, you sound like a chump.
Not that easy.
And trying to make him look like a chump anyway, Eagle's going to go ahead and outthrow him by 100 feet or so.
I appreciate the not bad Eagle called shortly after that shot.
And there it is, just that overstable forehand in. Will be inside circle one. Yeah, inside, that's probably 150 or so. No, not even.
And what's the golf decision here, Nathan?
Be at the base of it, I think.
Looks like a little speculative from Eagle trying to put it in.
Yeah, that was I'm gonna be at the base of it, but if it floats long enough, I'll be in it. Type of bid right there. That one was a good. That's probably about what I would do. You know, try to float it, but if not, then it's what you meant to do anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Plausible deniability. Kind of as predicted for the easiest hole. Going to see almost certainly 3 birdies.
Yes, 78% of the field. That's 91 players out of 116 able to get the 3 on this one.
That's just a shocking number.
That's
Like,
so many. I'm not sure I've ever said 91 of anybody did anything on.
No, not unless the world is the world's field is 288. Hole 17, out of bounds to the right and left the entire way. You're going to throw likely forehands, some backhand turnovers to a landing zone, and then a very scary approach into this green, kind of hanging out over the water the entire way. This is the hole where things can get away from you, but it's hard to make them go well.
Yes, as wide as this area that Nikko just landed in looks like, as soon as that wind picks up, all that stuff on the left just comes into play, and all the wood line on the right, you end up going nose up a little bit. You catch some branches and can roll around.
Oh no, that's a heartbreak.
Yeah,
Really well thrown shot by Zach, and just gets the terrible roll.
Yeah, caught a little extra concrete, ended up going OB there.
Eagle with the backhand turnover. Does get it wide enough, and kind of tough spot. We'll see what option he elects to go. Väinö with a lot of width. I want a concrete skip here. Yes, the concrete skip pushes him to the far side of those trees. He will be able to see the basket.
Yeah, ideally, those 2 trees you can see on the left side of the screen, you'd like to be somewhere at them instead of as far back as these guys are, having to decide whether to go around them and throw over the water. Brings in a lot of different angles.
Looks like Zach kind of got twigged and will likely have to lay up to take a bogey.
This has got to get down, and does get down just in time inbounds.
Yeah, not the commitment that Väinö needed to make. This is an iffy shot from Eagle, because there are some large trees on the right side of the green that could prevent him getting all the way back in. Or...
Wow. Or he could throw it into circle 1.
Sure.
Yeah, and going over top of the trees like that, you could really carry too much and push into the water OB on the left side pretty easily also.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, but that's the more acceptable mistake than holding right side the entire time. Couple of layups thus far, and this is similar to the shot we saw Nikko make in 2021 when he was on his way to a win here.
It is maybe just a little bit closer, but he makes it again. Gets himself to 9 down now.
He's
Knew it
feeling
out
it.
of the
He
hand.
knew that so early, yeah.
Yeah, he's maybe reminiscing of that shot a little bit in his head there. Hyping himself up as Eagle McMahon has worked himself back to even. It's way late in the round to be saying that about Eagle, as he's already got himself a win this year. Actually, earlier on at Goat Hill, won by 4 strokes, inside top 20 at Las Vegas. brings us into our finishing hole. 468 feet, treacherous over the water the entire way. Got a bit of a tailwind helping you out today as far as going for the birdie shot. You can see some players lay up without crossing the water and then just kind of pitch up for the par. But I imagine we'll see some go for it shots here today. Tailwind, pretty good conditions for it.
Yeah, a little bit of left to right cross is going to hold that disc over a long time. But, wow. Nikko Locastro, folks.
Has an opportunity for double digits on the first day.
Eagle kind of playing with stability, just flat out to the right and letting it break back.
Man, wouldn't that be nice? Just
yeah, kind of a fundamentally different game if you can throw 510 on hyzer.
Yeah, just 500-foot hyzer. Make sure I don't throw it too far.
And, okay, it is stable enough. Väinö skips at circle 2.
Wow. Very stable disc there. I definitely thought that was shooting pretty straight out of his hand, but jumps back nicely.
And Zach likes to play with a full swing, so he actually went down to a Thunderbird here. And wow, gets himself into circle 1.
All right, skirting along that OB water line, and is going to avoid having that scary layup choice that Eagle and Väinö just had. He's going to have a pretty good putt, but let's see if Nikko can connect here. Finish out his round strong with a turkey.
He sure can.
All right. And that's the way to do it. He was this is one of the earlier cards of the day today. I believe they teed off at 10 o'clock, so at this point when he hit that putt, he is leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, you kind of put the pressure on everybody else. Another good birdie by Zach. We're really proud of him. Look forward to seeing what the Texas local's capable of doing the rest of the year. Väinö and Eagle, we know that they're not happy, but they're good guys. They're going to practice. They're going to think about what they have to do the last 2 rounds of this tournament to move on up. Adam Ham is out to the early lead at 12 down, but tomorrow on the Gatekeeper media card, we'll see Paul Oman, GT Hancock, Eric Oakley, and Brody Smith.
Yeah, should be a fun card. We've got an extremely tight leaderboard. I believe it was 8-10 downs, 9-9 downs, 9-8 downs. So much room for movement tomorrow, and excited to watch it all unfold.